I want to make sure that I've got this right. Joan, I want to make sure that we're on the right station.
Okay.
We're not on WTOP like you said in the newscast.
Gosh, can you believe I just said that?
That was really funny, actually. I told Sam to clip that so that we can make fun of you in the 8:35. But I wanted to go ahead and begin now.
Do it early. Yeah,
I did. Great. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to call attention to the train wreck.
Nobody noticed. But
I noticed.
Dan.
I noticed.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Are you able to get that real quick, Sam, or should we just talk about it? Because it was great. Joan, you said you flew right through it though.
I tried to, just not call attention to myself when I do something dumb.
Well, here's the funny thing, though, Joan. Every mistake I make, people jump on me all the time. So when somebody else screws up, I've got to bring it up.
I was so sure you were talking to Sam and you didn't hear it.
Oh, I heard it. And everybody else did too, Joan. So we'll play that audio here at some point.
Sometimes it just comes right back out, Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just me.
No, I've done the weather. I used to be on 1190 WoWo.
Yeah.
In Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the weather was always, it's 65 degrees off the world famous WoWo. Oh, I see. Now I don't remember.
Now you can't remember.
No, I don't remember. WoWo Fire Escape. The Fire Escape. The world famous WoWo. 65 degrees off the world famous WoWo Fire Escape. So I don't know where it happened or why it was here. And a couple of years ago, I was rattling off the weather, and I said, it's and right now it's 65 degrees off the world famous WoWo Fire Escape. What in the world? I mean, at least people have heard of WTOP, but I'm talking about a fire escape in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Did you
good.
Want that clip now?
Sure, if you've got it. If just so people can hear Joan's script before we...
Sam, you can help me and lose it.
Oh, no. Why would Sam do that?
The system stores it for me.
It was on WTOP's, make that on WTN's Chris Hand show.
No!
Oh, man.
Listen, it happens to everybody. The fact of the matter is that when we have a bad day...
Yeah.
And I went home yesterday feeling lower than a snake because I wasn't happy with yesterday's show. When we have... And it was a fine show, but... When we have a bad day or when we shank something, it's like thousands of people know about it.
Yeah.
And so if we don't bring it up, we might as well own our mistakes. That's the whole thing with me. Own the mistakes. Own the mistakes and make fun of it. That's what I like to do.
People on the super text line are calling me out. That's nice.
Are calling what?
Calling me out. They heard it too.
Okay, see? And here's the thing, and then we're going to move on. I love that our audience can call us out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like other radio stations, if there's people listening, stuff like this flies right by, or the hosts don't care enough to listen to the people that listen to the radio station.
Yeah.
And that's why it is so important to me, even though some days are better than others with the super text line, for me to read some of the super texts. But that's why it's so important to me to read those and to engage and, text people back and so forth. And same with the YouTube chat, because I think that, they like to have fun with all of us. And I think it's great.
Yep.
So there you go. But we are WTN.
Thanks. I'll write that on my script next time.
See, Joan, if we were on WTOP, we'd be making a lot more money.
That, and we'd be telling false stories. So, I'm okay with making less money and being honest.
All right, moving right along.
Sorry.
So it's 24 years since 9/11, right, Joan? I got my math right?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so 24 years since 9/11, and it is fascinating. The conversation of the Islamification of America has become a big topic of discussion online and, places all across America. So we are one day before 9/11, and this is what's going on in Houston, Texas. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's an imam named Imam Qasim Ali Khan, and he's walking around Houston stores. Now, this guy's an imam, right? These are the guys in charge of the mosques, and he's walking around Houston stores that are owned by Muslims and demanding that they stop selling pork, alcohol, and lottery tickets. And so he's calling these things Sharia patrols, as in Sharia law, here in America. Need some video.
You know, as a merchant, you have every legal right to sell whatever you want. But as a Muslim, I have a responsibility to educate the people and let them know that as a Muslim, you shouldn't sell haram. That the alcohol, the pork, the gambling is all against Islam. And so I'm just letting you know ahead of time, in about 30 days, we're going to start doing demonstrations around the city. The Muslims that have businesses with haram in it will let the people know that we have to teach the people the best. The Muslims have the best. So let the owners know you should begin to change the inventory, or we're just going to demonstrate. We can't stop you. You have a right to do it, but we have to give the da'wah to let the people know the truth about Islam, okay? So we say, get the haram out of your store.
Okay.
May Allah bless you. I love you for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, whatever. Let's talk about the truth of Islam. Let's talk about the truth of Sharia law. I'm pretty sure, by the way, the guys working in this store where they came from, they left where they came from to get away from this kind of stuff. But he's walking around all the stores and that are owned by Muslims, and he's telling them, you got to stop selling lottery tickets, alcohol, and pork. Khan, this is from Yahoo, Khan, who describes himself as a community educator focused on Muslim-owned businesses, telling sellers they could keep current stock, but must stop funding sales of haram items. A Muslim shouldn't sell haram, and haram is like these banned items that you sell within the Muslim community.
Technically means unlawful.
Unlawful, thank you. There's alcohol, pork, gambling, all against Islam, he said, in about 30 days, and you just heard it. We're going to start doing demonstrations around the city. We're going to tell everyone the truth about Islam. Well, let's talk about the truth of Sharia law. Because everybody knows, I mean, if you listen to this show and this station, you know that we've been talking about this for years. Limited, if any, rights for women. Amputation for theft. I mean, we've talked about how I accidentally stole a pack of gum from Dollar General. Can you imagine if I got caught by this imam? It'd chop off my hand. How would you like mandatory hijabs for women in the Texas heat? Child marriage, death to gays. I mean, it goes on and on. That is what Sharia law is. And so Houston, they've got a Muslim population of about 200,000. And this particular imam, and you were telling me, Sam, before the show, that this dude is actually from America. Is he from Texas?
I'm not entirely sure of what area of the country he's from, but he's American. You listen to him talk, and it's the irony of him going into what I would consider to be, if those guys are Muslim that run that store, that's their native religion if they are, in fact, immigrants. And here's an American man trying to tell them what they should do because now he is, I guess, been indoctrinated into believing he should be a Muslim.
And he is walking around all these Muslim-owned stores and trying to tell people what to do.
Yep.
So now the update to this story, because this has been sort of, going on for the last 6 months. I've spoken about this before. But now he is actively out protesting these stores. I'm going to talk about that and a whole lot more straight ahead. 5:15. Time to check the roads on WTN.
Well, it looks like they may have picked up that construction on 40 as you make your way onto I-65 South. It's looking better there this morning. No delays on 40 on I-24 or on 65 heading in from the north. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. Partly cloudy, a high of 89, feeling like 94 today as the temperatures slowly start to creep back up. Can I just say that I enjoyed the fake fall?
The false flag fall.
The false flag fall.
Still, the evenings are, at least around me, the evenings are cool and breezy, and I'm loving it.
Yes, it is very, very nice. And I cannot wait for fall to actually fall upon us.
Okay.
Is what I'm looking forward to. So far, so good, right?
Running really well so far, yeah.
All right, very good. So now this imam out there in Houston has now started to protest these Muslim-owned businesses.
The Muslim Islamic code is that we avoid the use and the sale and distribution of pork, alcohol, and gambling products. We ask them not to do this, so we are asking all the Muslim business people and Muslim merchants to have a higher standard of quality that complements the religion of Islam. If you say that you're Muslim, you should avoid alcohol, pork, and gambling products and do the best for the community.
So here's what I would say to that, is that if these stores are in, mostly Muslim or Muslim communities and they're doing pretty well, then obviously what's best for the community is what they're providing to the community, right? As a response, this is the update. As a response, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said yesterday, I signed laws that ban Sharia law and Sharia compounds in Texas. No businesses and no individual should fear fools like this. And he calls this imam a fool, which I believe that he is. The governor also addressed the imam, saying if this person or anyone attempts to impose Sharia compliance, report it to local law enforcement or the Texas Department of Public Safety. In a statement, Abbott's office added this: in Texas, we believe in equal rights under the law for all men, women, and children. Any legal system that flouts human rights is banned in the state of Texas. Abbott did not specify which bill he was referencing, but he did sign a bill back in 2017 that prohibits judges from applying any foreign law, including Muslim law, in U.S. courtrooms. Now, I love CARE. Joan, I know being from Washington, D.C., you know what CARE is, the Council on American Islamic Relations.
Oh, yeah.
They're an activist group, and if you say anything negative about Muslims or Islam, they go after you. So they've sharply criticized Abbott's announcement, calling it fear-mongering. Somebody please explain to me, I would ask the Council on American Islamic Relations, how is it fear-mongering when you have an imam that is basically threatening these Muslim-owned stores into not selling pork or lottery tickets or alcohol? That's not fear-mongering. That's a fact. That is what he is literally doing. So CARE, as usual, they refuse to address the actual problem that's going on, and it is just throwing out they're just fear-mongering, the Texas governor. They say when Texas Muslims pray, this is CARE, when Texas Muslims pray to God 5 times a day, donate to charity, fast on Ramadan, or speak up against injustice, among many other practices, they are observing Sharia. Well, not to belabor the point, but that's not what this imam is talking about. This imam is threatening these stores. This imam is saying that you should not be selling pork, lottery tickets, or alcohol because it is outlawed under Sharia law. So the governor isn't talking about them praying to God 5 times a day, which they're allowed to do, donating to charity, which absolutely knock yourselves out, fasting in Ramadan, or speaking up against injustice. If that's what they want to do, there's no laws against that. But trying to force, bully pulpit or otherwise, stores into not selling what you believe they should not be selling, they've made that, apparently, they say, against the law in Texas. I mean, not to belabor the point, but what about all of the issues that I mentioned about women's rights and gay rights and brutal punishments for petty crimes like stealing, shoplifting and the like? I mean, that's clearly that's not worthy of amputation, but that's what they do under Sharia law. So, yeah, there are issues here. And remember Epic City. I don't know if you folks remember Epic City. Epic City was this massive housing development in Texas. It was in Plano, Texas, or I think maybe outside of Plano, Texas, where the local mosque there in Plano actually had this massive housing complex that they were trying to build. And it was affiliated with a mosque. and they wanted to have schools in there. It was over 1,000 homes. It was initiated by the East Plano Islamic Center, EPIC, in Texas. And they claimed, and to me, the word there is claimed. They claimed that it would be open to all faiths, but the governor for the state of Texas, Greg Abbott, again, didn't buy that, and a lot of people didn't buy that either. And so this is what he said at the time.
Well, in part by that statement, but also in part by information that we've gathered, there appear to be multiple violations that have taken place here. One is information has been provided to investors that appears to be misleading. Another is they appear to be in violation of fair housing laws. Also, we found that, they talk about doing all this building, but they don't have any building permits to actually do any building, and they have challenges even getting those building permits. Believe this or not, we've even received information that they may have been conducting a funeral home without legal authority. Bottom line, Laura, is that there so many questions arose, especially information that we received, that led us to need to call the elite Texas Rangers to conduct a criminal investigation to find out if criminal laws in Texas have been violated.
So this is what's going on. I know that we talk about this stuff all the time, the Islamification of America. And bottom line is with this epic housing development there in it's outside of Dallas, Plano, is that they've basically buried them in permit issues. And so they've stopped that for now. They say that it is still in the planning process. But my word, you go to places like New York, you go to places like certainly Minneapolis and other.
Dearborn,
Michigan, a great example where you've got entire communities that have basically been taken over by Islam and by Muslims. And I'm telling you what, it is worrisome. And this is a community. You look at what's going on right now in the UK, where you have all of these Muslims that have come in over the past, 5 to 10 years, and they're not looking on. They're not wanting to assimilate into their culture. They have literally said there are videos all over the socials where you've got them saying, "We will not assimilate. We will take over." That's what they're saying. And that is going on in the UK. And then if you speak out against it, of course, as we all know, then you end up getting arrested. If you post about this on social media in the UK, you could end up getting arrested. We all know about the grooming, the rape patrols that are going on as well. So this is something that we really do need to pay attention to here. Joan and Sam?
Yes.
We're going to play Fun with Audio.
Oh, yay.
Now, for folks that don't know what that is, basically, we're in delay, right, Sam? All right, so I've been caught a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Basically, what I do is I play audio that I have not heard, Joan has not heard, Sam has not heard, and we just play the audio, and then we all discover together what the audio says, and then we comment on it. So, here we go. Donald Trump, this is the president talking about the Epstein birthday book. Here's what the president had to say. Remember yesterday, we had the story about how the president's alleged supposed picture drawn of, that naked woman and all that kind of stuff. And I think the whole thing is BS, but whatever. This is what the president said about that.
Here we are. We're standing right in the middle of D.C., which, as you know, about over the last year was a very unsafe place. Over the last 20 years, actually, it was very unsafe. And now it's got virtually no crime. We call it crime-free. We're going to be announcing another city that we're going to very shortly. We're working it out. The governor of a certain state would love us to be there, and the mayor of a certain city in that same state would love us to be there. We'll announce it probably tomorrow, and it's going to be something where we'll do like we did here. But this city, here I am standing out in the middle of the street. I wouldn't have done this 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I certainly wouldn't have done it a year ago.
So that is President Trump, and I don't know if he was asked about the book and all that and just decided not to comment on it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the success of Washington, D.C. is very clear. Hey, you know what we ought to do? We didn't do a Daily Dan poll. Do you want to guess who the next what the next city is going to be? What do you think it's going to be, Joan? Is it going to be, because, remember, we're not talking about ICE. We're talking about the National Guard. So what city do you believe will be getting the National Guard? We already have ICE, of course, in Chicago. We've been talking about that the last couple of days. It doesn't seem like, aside from a few neighborhood, protests, it doesn't seem like there's any violence against ICE going on in Chicago right now. Has there been any, Joan, that you've seen? Sam, that you've seen?
Where was the ICE agents had to pull back? Where was that? Was that Boston?
I didn't see where they had to pull back. It may have been Boston. I don't know.
There was somewhere the other day where they were protesters were slashing their tires.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that okay? Then is that excuse? I mean, that seems like any Tuesday in some of these cities, but. Is that enough to justify the National Guard going in? Because remember, that's what this whole thing is, right? You send in ICE, and then when you get all of that pushback, that justifies the sending in of the National Guard. So,
this was in upstate New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay, upstate New York.
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting? So there's so many people that, and justifiably so. But there's a lot of people that will talk about the Islamification of America, like I just did, right, in the 5 o'clock segment. But, there's something to be said for the Democrats taking over American cities, too. And look what happens in those cities. The number of murders, the number, just the sheer crime, the problems that they have with the schools and rapes and murders. I mean, look at Memphis. I mean, look at how horrible Memphis is. Look at how Nashville is going downhill. Look at all of these cities, and I don't know what you would call it, but the Democrats take over once great American cities too, and those cities, effectively have been destroyed over generations of Democrat rule. So we can talk about, and we do, the Islamification of America in some of these cities, like we were talking about in Houston, with that imam warning stores not to sell, Islam forbidden products like lottery tickets and alcohol and so forth.
And pork.
Which, kind of sucks because you want some beef jerky and they don't have it in there, apparently.
It's why I love the running joke that if you eat bacon, you're 99.9%, like, what is it? If you eat bacon, you're not going to be a terrorist. Something like that. There's a meme. So
I don't know, man.
There's the shank of the day for me.
Hey, clip that.
Well
no,
done.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
You keep practicing. You'll match my shankdominiums. Shanktimonious. Anyway, whatever. So, yeah, but, I mean, look at that. The Democrats have taken over cities, and those cities over generations of Democrat rule will never be the same. Never, ever be the same.
Should that be the poll then?
What?
Your provocative question you asked me off air.
Which
is more dangerous to America?
Democrats or Muslims? Or Sharia law? Let's say Sharia law.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Make that as a poll. Because, I think I could very easily make the case that Democrats have literally destroyed American cities. And Donald Trump is proving that it can be fixed. All right. Here is Donald Trump talking about now. This is the audio bite. Donald Trump talking about the Epstein birthday book.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time know that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly, you're wasting your time. All you do is trying to get off the great success of D.C. and about 200 other things we've done that are so successful. This is a great, great success, and we have so many. I don't think any president in their first 8 months has had anywhere near the success that we've had.
All right, so Donald Trump saying that it's not his signature. And here's the deal. How do they prove, how do the Democrats and his haters, how do they prove that that's Donald Trump's signature? You're going to believe? Let me ask you a question. You hate listeners. Who are you going to believe? Donald Trump or Ghislaine Maxwell? Right?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Who do you believe? Ghislaine Maxwell or Donald Trump. Now, the haters out there will say, oh, we don't believe Donald Trump. He's Hitler. He's literally Hitler. Okay, so you believe Ghislaine Maxwell, who recruited a whole bunch of girls underage to ultimately end up in these situations where they were caught up in Jeffrey Epstein's web of deceit, lies, and, whatever, the sexual assault, harassment, prostitution, whatever it is you want to say. What would you call it, Joan? Like, you got a bunch of underage girls, human trafficking, sexual trafficking, that's what it was. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd believe Donald Trump, who is out there and he has been, honest and upfront about his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. I knew him, realized that he was a creeper, and I assisted the FBI in helping the investigation. So, to me, who do you believe, Ghislaine Maxwell or Donald Trump?
And you could also use your own eyeballs and look at his signature, the one we have seen on every executive order in this term and the last, and compare it to what was released. And as we talked about yesterday, that's a signature that the man has probably made upwards of several 100,000 times over the course of his career in real estate.
Yeah, that's very true. And we talked about that yesterday where, I don't know, have there been any handwriting analysts who have come out and looked at Donald Trump's signature and maybe the differences between the way he signs these days and how he supposedly signed that birthday card way back when? Because most of it...
I haven't seen that yet.
It's all typed, as I reported yesterday. It's all typed except for that one signature.
Yeah.
And there are differences. I mean, Sam talked about the differences between his, was it a birthday card, Sam, that you had?
The wedding invitation.
The wedding invitation that Sam had with Donald Trump's modern day signature, and the one from the birthday book back in, what was it, 2003?
Yeah.
Was that it, 2003?
He's almost always signed his full name on something, and the birthday card, he happens to just sign Donald. And then if he ever does just sign Donald, he dips the end of the last letter back over his signature, like a lot of people do. I do it with mine. I'll cross the T after I get done writing the end of my last name. Mm-hmm. But this just goes out into a straight line, almost as if the person writing it didn't know what to do.
Yeah. And I
my interpretation.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You know what the thing is? Even if it is Donald Trump's signature, even if that really truly is from Donald Trump, it doesn't prove jack, does it? I mean, Bill Clinton's, and we talked about this yesterday, Bill Clinton's is even creepier. I don't want to get into a whole Epstein thing today because I did that yesterday. But I don't believe, even if that proves to be authentic, it doesn't prove anything. So Donald Trump has cooperated with the investigations. He says it's not his signature. I'm going to go ahead and believe him and move on. By the way, we're throwing a whole bunch of stuff out, which is typically what happens when we do Fun with Audio. But did we come up with predictions as far as the next state?
We didn't do that yet.
We didn't do that. So we talked about, the president spoke the other day about New Orleans. The National Guard has not gone into Chicago, but he said that they're talking to a governor who wants them to come in. So a couple of days ago, he spoke about the governor of Louisiana. Is it Jeff Landry? I think that's the guy's name.
Yeah. But Jeff, no. Landry's the last name. Landry's
the last name. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember what it is for. The governor of Louisiana. I can't remember his name. But Trump said that governor wants them to come in and take over portions of New Orleans.
You were right. It's Jeff.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
That's strike two, Joan.
Yeah.
That's strike two.
What happens at 3? Do I get to go home?
You get to go home early.
Take a nap?
You get to go home and eat some pork.
You get to break another TV.
There you go. Anyway, I love what. All right, so I think I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think it's going to come out of left field. I think it's going to be Memphis. My bold prediction is that Donald Trump is working with Governor Lee. Well, the president doesn't have to work with Governor Lee. The governor has the ability to send in the National Guard himself. So then I'm going to have to say, I don't know, is Landry a Republican or Democrat? I don't even know.
I'm relatively sure he's a Republican.
Okay. Well, then Landry can send in the National Guard himself, too, if he wants to. So I don't know. You got any? who's got any predictions? You guys got any predictions? If he's already working with a governor who wants the National Guard to come in, that governor can send in activate the National Guard himself, right?
Republican.
What am I missing here?
He's a Republican.
Yeah, all right. The press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, the Democrats, some guy tried to do this to me the other day on Red Eye Radio. I don't know if you heard it, but he started talking about the Gavin Newsom talking point that you have these Republican-led states that have these, really terrible, Democrat-run cities. Well, Gavin Newsom has been running around saying, "Oh, you've got all of these Republican-led states with all of the crime," and obviously the answer to that is, as we've all been saying, well, yeah, but they're the Democrat-run cities that are experiencing all of the crime, and it's because of their local ordinances, jurisdiction, soft on crime policies, and soft on crime judges in cities like Memphis. This was Caroline Leavitt yesterday.
Democrats have tried to argue that red states have higher crime rates while overlooking problems of high crime in blue cities. I'm wondering if the president would consider working with red state governors to fix high crime in blue cities like in Memphis, Tennessee.
So first of all, I want to get to the premise of your question, Reagan, which is being pushed by Democrats, that there is crime in red states. Of course, there is crime in all states, but the crime in these cities is all in cities that are run by Democrats. If you look at the list of the top 20 high crime cities in the United States, every single one, with the exception of one in Louisiana, is run by a Democrat. And these Democrats have supported the same policies that I spoke about at the beginning of this briefing, like cashless bail. If you look at a red state, Mississippi, but a Democrat-run city in that state, Jackson, in 2019, Jackson, Mississippi, eliminated cash bail for virtually all misdemeanor cases. And while Jackson is not formally a sanctuary city, the state of Mississippi formally banned sanctuary cities, and this city has acted as a de facto sanctuary city for criminals and illegal aliens since 2017. Same thing, Birmingham, Alabama, a Democrat-run city in a red state.
Yep.
In 2017, the Birmingham City Council unanimously passed a resolution, quote, committing to establish sanctuary policies.
So, Caroline Leavitt bringing those receipts, and it makes all the sense in the world. And let's not forget, and we talked about this yesterday, matter of fact, we had Senator Marsha Blackburn on talking about this, where the guy who killed that poor Ukrainian woman, what was that guy's name? DeCarlos Brown? Is that what his name is?
DeCarlos Brown Jr.
DeCarlos Brown Jr.
The name is so good they thought they needed to pass it on.
And he making that name proud, boy. So here's the thing, though, is that when you have cashless bail, this guy was out on cashless bail. So that tells you that he should have been in prison or jail awaiting his next court hearing, but he didn't.
I just grokked something about the crime rate in Tennessee per that audio bite and everything.
Yeah.
So we're the overall crime rate, which includes both violent and property crimes, currently ranks among higher in the nation, about fifth highest in the nation. But Shelby County accounts for 13% of the state's total population, but drives a disproportionate share of the state's crime, estimated at 35 to 40% of violent crimes.
Well,
right
that
there.
Speaks volumes.
And listen, if we didn't have Memphis, we keep going on about Memphis. If we didn't have Memphis, do you know how good our school scores would be as a state?
Excluding Shelby County, Tennessee's crime rate would drop significantly. The adjusted violent crime rate would be approximately 450 to 500 per 100,000 residents, a 20 to 25% reduction.
How long have Democrats been in charge of Shelby County? I mean, I don't know. Like ever since I've been here, and that's been, obviously years. So it's got to be. Google that. When was the last time? This will give us an indication. Grok it. When was the last time Memphis, Tennessee had a Republican mayor? And I don't know about city council and all those kinds of things.
1963.
1963.
Wow.
Memphis, how's that working out for you?